And tell you the truth, this reminds me. Have you heard about the Teddy Bridgewater situation?
Oh, bro, I was hoping we got to speak on that because that is stupid.
It
That
was
is
ridiculous
stupid.
because you banned this man for literally taking care of his players.
So for those of you
That's
who
it.
don't know, Teddy Bridgewater, if y'all know, he was a high school he's coaching his old high school in Florida. They just won the Florida, I think, 5A championship. Teddy Bridgewater just got suspended from that league because he was paying for Uber rides and like treatment and meals for his kids, basically to make sure they were taken care of, get them to and from practice, X, Y, and Z. And they said it was illegal because the kids might be receiving like improper benefits or impermissible like benefits from Teddy Bridgewater because he was paying for this. And I'm sitting there thinking to myself, how? You have kids probably out there who can't get a ride home or have to wait for their mama or their pops to get off work. You got kids that ain't eating. You got kids that are out here struggling, and you have a multi-million-dollar quarterback who knows he has the money, who knows he has the funds to take care of his boys, putting up that money to be like, I got y'all. All thing I asked, only thing he was asking for was like, if y'all want to donate to the team. That was it. He was just asking for donations.
And
And y'all want to
like
suspend him from the league? We get on athletes enough about
and
not giving back to the community. And when you have an athlete that's doing it and being
that's
a
giving
coach
back
in
to
the
his community.
community,
Like bro,
y'all want to
you,
suspend him.
you were providing meals. He's like he was helping provide meals to some of the kids who couldn't afford meals,
Message.
providing a way to get to like recovery because a lot of
Right.
kids just go out play on the field and don't have any form of
They don't
athletic
know how to
training to help them.
properly
They
recover
don't
at
have
all.
they don't at all. They just go back home and come back the next day and do the same thing over again, continuing to damage their bodies quicker than they would have if they knew how to recover properly. Then so like providing like helping them get rides to games, rides to like to camps and stuff, helping them with an NCAA clearinghouse, which I can tell you is a big factor for kids
Oh,
who want to play in college. Because if
oh,
you don't
listen,
understand the NCAA clearinghouse,
you are
you don't know
done
what to
for.
look for. You don't know what to do. You're just in there just filling out forms and hoping it works. When that's not how. When you're just lost. Now you're
That
just in there with
clearinghouse is
okay, you got your
annoying.
eligibility, but that's it. You don't have any way of looking for scholarships. You don't have any way to know, okay, what's the difference between D2, D3, and D1? You don't know how to deal with any of that stuff. So when you have somebody that was in his position, who's been through it, who's been to the highest level you can get in a sport, who is using his own money and his own funds because he's made enough to last him for the rest of his life and giving back to the kids he's coaching, who by which made it to state his first year as a coach,
They won
made
state,
two
bro.
in one state his first year as a coach. He's not giving them any kind. He's not doing performance enhancements. He's not paying them under the table. He's not doing any of that stuff. He is doing exactly what the school, the community, and his other coaches should have been doing for him. The education board should have been doing for him. The athletic directors for the state should have been doing for them. But here y'all are suspending this man for doing exactly what he should have been doing as a head coach, taking care of his players.
It
Wow.
makes it makes no
Wow.
sense. It makes no sense, and y'all wonder why we have this issue, and y'all wonder why things are going the way they are. It's like, all right, let's be real. We all know about the activity bus, right? We all know about how after practice you're supposed to have the activity bus. What if the activity bus doesn't go to my house? What if you're in a school that can't afford the activity bus? What if you're at a place that you know, all right, even if I take the activity bus, it's dropping me off 2 miles from my house because that's where the drop off spot is. You you're mad again. We both said it. You're mad at a coach for taking care of his players and using his own money to do so. This to me is the exact type of stuff that we harped on the NCAA for years. For years. But what's even worse is, unlike the NCAA and a lot of those scandals where players might be getting paid under the table, X, Y, and Z, this is just a coach making sure my high schoolers get from point A to point B because they need a ride, because they need some food, because they need a jersey, because they can't cover this piece of equipment. They helmet cracked and they can't afford to get a new one. That's what this is. They need cleats because the one pair of cleats they had finally busted.
And now they out here in tennis shoes.
Now they out here in tennis shoes for 3 practices straight. Coach Teddy look at him like, what's on? Why you in the tennis shoes? Oh, coach, my
And
stuff busted,
I think this is one
and
of
I
those
can't get them
situations
to
where
tape them together.
I think this is one of those situations where the community also, or the school, or whoever it was that was a part of this man getting banned, expected him to put the basically to financially back the whole thing himself. So when he was asking for donations, they was like, "You have the audacity when you've been out here, when you've made all these millions and millions of dollars, to ask us to donate when you have all this money you can easily just put into the school yourself."
And
Man, it's like, sir, madam, or whoever you are, I will say this. As a individual who was able to play for a coach that coached in the NFL, made all this money, did all he did, and was able to provide certain aspects to us. Yes. Were we able to get new uniforms? Yes. Were we able to get some shirts and some pants? We were able to get some newer stuff. However, when we got it was back in 2007, 2006, when Nike apparel was $60 or less for most things.
listen.
But the other thing is, you also got to remember, yeah, sure, if you wanted to go ahead and put money into the school, but here's the problem: helmets are $700 a pop at least,
And that's the brand new ones.
and they're getting brand new. They're not getting refurbished. So a brand new helmet, adult size, because a high schooler is not getting a youth size helmet, is at least $700. You're getting anywhere between 40 to 50 of those. Then you have to pay for those to get sent off and checked off, made sure they're up to stuff. And if they're not, you're having to replace them. Then you're getting new cleats, new shoulder pads, new thigh pads, new pants, new jerseys. If you want, if they want Under Armour or something like that, that's new. That's new dry fits, new practice clothes, new practice beanies, buy that stuff alone is millions. But what you need to do and what you need to focus on is rebuilding the athletic department from the ground up. If you don't have an athletic director that's willing to put in the effort to get sponsorship for your school and help you get money from outside sources that's not from the coaches themselves and coming out of their pockets, then what are we doing? If the community is not willing to help their kids succeed or at least look half decent, then what are we doing? What are we talking about? Exactly. You're sitting there twiddling your thumbs, looking stupid, complaining about this man not wanting to put his millions, his money about this, despite the fact that he's doing the basic stuff that you should have been doing in the first place.
And speaking of that,
making sure your kid can eat.
And speaking of that, let's be honest.
Making sure your kid is being able to recover and making sure he's healthy on a regular basis when it comes down to the sport he wants to play. Making sure he's going out and learning about the NCAA clearinghouse, looking for scholarships, making sure his grades are right. He's doing what you should be doing on the back end. But when he asks you to put in some money, if you want to by donation, you look at him like y'all got the audacity. Then you remove him from the place that he had the most and best influence. How dare you?
It's dumb. It's very, very dumb, and I'm just like,
how dare you?
You want this in it as a player. You want this coach. As a parent who really understands it, you want that type of coach.
Oh, I would have been at every practice early. I would have been doing extra reps before and after practice for a coach. Like
that's how. That's the thing. That's how
my grades would have never dropped for a coach.
My high school coach, bro, Coach Matt, to this day, that's how he was. If you ain't had a ride, he would make sure you got a ride, even if it meant driving himself. And that man was pushing up there in age, but he made sure you were taken care of. You didn't, if you had busted basketball shoes, He would ask what size you were. He would try to get you some. He would go out of his way to make sure you were taken care of. That's what you want in a coach. And y'all telling me y'all out here kicking a coach out because that's what he was doing? I long and short, Teddy Bridgewater got screwed. Point blank. Period.
That's it. And I hope they end up backtracking and fixing the problem, because he's already said that, like, since he's not on the field anymore, he can do what he want. Since he's not a part of the institution, he can do what he want.
If he caught a stray, if he issued a lawsuit against him, I'd laugh.
I'd support him.
Right.